Fox Business correspondent Edward Lawrence reporting live from Davos. Thank you, Edward, for hopping in front of the camera. It's great to have you with us. So I'm just going to quickly go through what we just learned from President Trump here. He said it's a great deal for everybody. He said that we got everything we wanted. He said then we're making progress. We're very far along. That was another thing. He was, definitely holding his cards close to the vest, but these are the things that he was willing to say. He said, we got a long-term deal, and someone asked, how long is the deal? Is it a lease, was one of the things that people were getting at in their questioning. He said it's an infinite deal. It's forever, and it solves our national security issue and the minerals issue. So your reaction to what we're learning here from the president as the market continues to be very strongly advanced?
Yeah, it was very interesting. I did see the Danish foreign minister say that he is excited now to be able to have talks with the United States representatives on his side to see where they can go forward. Now, this doesn't mean that Denmark's going to agree to a deal. And I can tell you, I talked with 2 European commissioners today, and both of them said that Greenland is not for sale. They were firm on that point. Now, President Trump says that he has a framework for a future deal in order to take control of Greenland related to this. I can tell you the markets loved it. And the reason why is the uncertainty. The uncertainty that was going away towards the end of last year, the beginning of this year, came back when the president decided to add these new tariffs, additional tariffs of 10% onto Europe. He has now pulled back those tariffs, says he's not going to impose them. It's not a pause. He just says he's not going to impose them, which tells the market the uncertainty's gone. And for that, that's a good thing. Now the market can say basically, hey, things as usual, business as usual. We can go forward with the growth that we're seeing in the United States. Now, as for a deal itself, that's going to be hard to get to given the posturing from both sides. But again, President Trump is firm. He sees Greenland as a strategic national interest, a core strategic national interest is the way he described it today in Davos. And that's something that he's going to want to continue with. Martha?
So you're saying that the Danish are still holding back from saying that they believe this is a deal, right? I would imagine that the tariffs could come back on the table if indeed this doesn't go the way the president wants, right?
Exactly. And the Danish foreign minister is not saying there's not a deal. He's just saying that now he can start talks, whereas the 2 sides were sort of dug into their corners with this threat of tariffs. Now he's saying that there actually can be talks related to this deal going forward. Now, we'll have to see exactly how it goes forward. And as you mentioned earlier, the president's saying it's a long-term deal. Well, how long-term is that deal? We're going to have to try and figure that out. That one out as soon as we see the
infinite
language.
Deal forever. So we'll see where it goes. What a fascinating day in geopolitical tug of war that we've been watching over Greenland. A subject that really I think wasn't top of mind for a lot of people until President Trump sort of pointed out how strategic it is in between Russia and the United States. It's 90% ice sheet. As the president pointed out several times today as well. It's a big block of ice. I just looked up. It's about 5,500 feet thick, and it covers 80 to 90% of the entire area of Greenland. So we're learning a lot more about Greenland as we cover this story. Edward, thank you very much. Great to see you. Thanks for jumping in.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.